Doona episode 7 picks up where we left off, with Doona releasing Wonjun's hand and leaving with Park. Her actions hurt Wonjun, but he remains behind at her grandma's house, waiting for her to return. On the other hand, Doona gets in the car with Park, and they drive off. During the drive, Doona confronts Park for abandoning her. She explains how she felt after he dumped her in the house and avoided her calls and messages. Park says they need to fix her career before people forget her. He is counting on the fact that Doona is scared to be irrelevant. Doona threatens she is done and wants to be forgotten. She demands he stop the car, and he refuses. She decides to jump out of the moving car and hurts her leg. Park stops and tries to get her back in the car. Doona starts crying while punching him. He says she is being dramatic. Doona tells him that he is worse than her mom. He knew she liked him but still left her. Park accuses her of messing everything up and to stop claiming she is the victim. She abandoned them during the tour and only used them to further her career. He is adamant she is a mess because she neglected herself and continues to mess up her life. Mr. Park certainly doesn't hold back. Night creeps in, and Wonjun is still at Doona's grandma's house. He tries to call her, but she is unreachable. Park took her to the hospital to make sure her leg was okay, and she has since been ignoring his calls. This hurts Wonjun's feelings more as he wonders who Park is in Doona's life. He then gets a message notifying him that he has received 2 bus tickets back to Seoul. After getting treatment, Doona refuses to get into Park's car. She says she is no longer scared of his threats. He asks why she came to the showcase, but Doona doesn't respond. In the meantime, Wonjun heads home to be with his family. His mom is with his ailing sister at the hospital. He later stops by Sujin's place and gets drunk. He laments life being so hard, and Sujin tries comforting him. Wonjun asks who celebrities normally date, and Sujin unknowingly answers other celebrities. On the other hand, Doona returns to her grandma's house and finds Wonjun gone. She checks her phone and sees he has called her 15 times. She starts thinking about Park's question, and it seems she misses her life as an idol. She remembers the first time she met Park when he signed her. He said he would be something akin to her family and care for her if she followed his lead. In the meantime, Young-hoon questions why he can't stop thinking of ERA. He gets a call from her, and she asks him to drop by her school. She wants his help with some fittings for her clothes. He agrees and starts getting dressed. He is surprised to leave the fitting room and find ERA gone. He hears her arguing with her ex, who is forcing her to give him a second chance. He confronts the douchebag and even gets him to refund ERA all the money he owed her. ERA gets excited since Young-hoon referred to her as his girl. They decide to get lunch together. We circle back to Wonjun, who returns to the dorm and finds Doona waiting. Even though he is angry and hurt, he tries to keep it civil. Doona asks him to be upfront and say how he feels. He asks if he has any right to get mad and why Doona won't apologize. He demands to know what Doona is doing with him. He feels Doona has no feelings for him since he is just some guy. He says she takes everything too far. Unfortunately, Young-hoon and ERA interrupt their conversation, and Wonjun runs to his room. On his way, he notifies Yoon-taek that he plans to move out. In a flashback, we see Doona and Park talk after she fainted on stage. She told him she could no longer sing, and he advised her to take a break. He also informed the CEO that they were pulling Doona out. The group will proceed with only 4 members. Presently, Doona meets with one of the members for coffee and to clear the air. The member says she understood Doona and isn't angry about what happened, she only wishes it hadn't happened the way it did. Even though they were not there for each other, they were not resentful. Elsewhere, Jinju drops by the restaurant and picks up some of the things she left behind. She tells Wonjun she is still hurt and needs time to overcome this. She asks if he is happy and says he acts differently with Doona. For the record, she notes it is a good thing. She hopes time will heal her and they can all be friends. Later, Wonjun heads home, thinking about his last conversation with Doona. He gets home, and Doona barges into his room, inquiring if he is really moving out. He tries to push her out, but she tightly hugs him. He says she reeks of tobacco, and she claims to have quit smoking. Out of jealousy, he asks if the scent belongs to Park. Doona refuses to back down and asks him to stop making snide remarks out of jealousy. She insists she won't leave and Wonjun is the one she wants. He asks why she left him behind, and Doona admits he made a mistake. She takes things for granted until they are gone and asks for forgiveness. Wonjun says she is a mess and selfish. He vents his anger eloquently and ends up confessing he still likes her. He asks her to sincerely apologize and assure him that he is the only one she wants. Doona tearfully says she loves him. They start kissing and end up making love. Wonjun admits he can't hate her even if he tries, while Doona is glad they've made up. The episode ends with a flashback of Doona talking to the member she met for coffee. She tells the member that one of the melodies she had been working on for a long time came back to her. She questions if it happened since she is in a much happier place now. The episode review: Doona messed up when she refused to pick up Wonjun's call. The least she could have done was text him back. However, we understand why she left with Park. Based on what we know about Doona, Park is important to her. He is the only one who has been taking care of her since she was young. She also had feelings for him and had been craving his attention. This is why she felt like he was punishing her when he pulled away. She needed to leave to realize that Wonjun was the one she wanted. Yes, Wonjun was hurt, but now she is clear about her feelings. This episode also gave us a sneak peek at Doona's options when it comes to her career. Park wants her to return, but what will happen to Wonjun and Doona's relationship if she returns to being an idol? Will their love prevail over the trolling and bad publicity that is bound to come? Should Doona choose love or her career? By the looks of it, she can only have one, which is a pity.